Good evening and welcome to Shiva YouTube Iyun. Tonight I want to talk about Mishnah Gimel in Parakut Gimel. Korea b'chamasov al-mesa v'kol mekachlim turim. It says three cases. You rip something, a piece of paper, document, piece of clothing, article of clothing, because you're upset, right? Some people, when they get really upset, they destroy things. Or you're very upset someone died. Not someone you had to do Kriya for. Zion Krovim you have to do Kriya for, but someone, your friend, let's say. Anyone who does any of the malachas in a destructive way, Korea generally is a destructive way, you're patr. Now, the halacha is, the Gemara says, if you rip something when you're angry, you are chayav, because you're doing nachas ruach for Yetzer Hara. Your Yetzer Hara tells you get angry. One of the biggest simonim, if you want to know when your Yetzer Hara is taking over, if you're angry, it means your Yetzer Hara is in charge. So, basically, when you rip in order to assuage your Yetzer Hara, you're doing something positive. Now, how does this fit into all the Malacha Shabbos? Right? I've said it has to be business-like activity. It has to be something commercial-like activities, right? Just to assuage your Yetzer Hara, that doesn't sound commercial-like. But the answer is, of course, it is something that is business-like, commercial-like. When a person's angry, right? So there's two ways of getting out of that anger. One, you could just calm down. You can chill out. You can talk to someone who'll drive some rationale back into you. And maybe it's not the reason to get so angry over this. Usually when people are angry, they're overreacting. Or you could destroy someone. There's two ways of getting rid of it, right? The restful way, the peaceful way, is to talk to someone, to let the anger boil out by itself. Or, to have discussions with the person who made you angry and try to work out compromise or work something, make a peaceful, conclusion to whatever, argument you've had. The way of getting rid of your anger by throwing a fit and destroying things, that's considered not restful. That's not something charisma. Now, Shabbos Malacha doesn't have to be business like commercial. It just means that you're not resting on Shabbos. So when you decide to alleviate your anger by throwing the dishes at the wall, right, you are engaging in the opposite of restful activity. Restful activity means think about what you did, talk about the person who angered you, and resolve it in a peaceful manner. When you're doing that, you're provoking Yetzer Hara. The next time someone gets angry, you'll destroy more dishes or more expensive things. So what you're doing over here, you're provoking your Yetzer Hara, and you are doing the opposite of resting, right? Because resting means not just peace of your body, but also peace of your mind. When you don't have peace of mind, right, provoking Yetzer Hara, so that is considered Malachas Shabbos. And here it's called Makakolim P'tur. What does it mean Makakolim P'tur? When you destroy, you do anything in Malacha done in a destructive manner is considered to be your pater on Shabbos. Why should that be? Right? Why should that be a Makakol and destructive purpose, your pater? The point is, right, that Malacha has to be done in a way that's gonna give to kiyum. It's gonna give to something lasting, right? If you do business transactions lasting, after Shabbos you make money off of it, right? Or maybe on Shabbos you make money off of it. Or it'll be something that's productive to you that you're going to hope to benefit from in the future. When you destroy something, right, so that's it, right? Now, if you get angry and you start taking the dishes and throwing them, right, you're provoking your Yetzer Hara. You're carrying it over to the week. You're putting your weekdays on Shabbos, right? But if you destroy something, call them Makakolim P'turim. For example, would be a case of Makakolim P'turim, a case where the Gemara says that you give a chabura or something like that, you got a wound or something like that. Normally to make a wound on yourself for a constructive purpose, for a mila or something like that, as a malacha. But when you're making the wound, right, you're hurting yourself. You're not supposed to hurt yourself. So you're not doing something right. It's definitely not a restful thing to do. If you're doing it to alleviate your anger, then you would be chayiv. Just like if you throw dishes against the wall, you'd be chayiv over there also. But if you're doing it because you get a wound or something like that, because you're doing a different activity, you're doing an activity that likely will result in a wound or something like that. The Gemara talks in Suvos, doing Be'ila Rishona on Shabbos. So if it's a Chabura, the Gemara discusses whether Be'ila Rishona, when you break the hymen, is considered a Malacha or not. So if it's a Chabura, it's called Makalkel, right? You're destroying the psulim and creating blood over there. So if it's not for a helpful purpose, a destructive purpose, so when you're not marviach, when you're not benefiting from something, so your mind is put at ease in a certain sense. When you destroy something, right, you're not thinking. A lot of times you're not thinking, right? That, and that's good. On Shabbos, you're not supposed to think. Malach on Shabbos is asra Torah. You're not supposed to use your mind, using your mind for business purposes or for any time. Focusing on doing malacha, something that will result in a positive net outcome, is it's constructive during the week. It's destructive during Shabbos. It ruins your peace of mind and it ruins your peace of body. So when you do something destructive, when you make a wound, if that's considered destructive, so you're putting your mind at ease, which is a good thing on Shabbos. That's why you're pot there. You're putting your mind at ease because when you destroy something, you're letting it go. You're not thinking about it. People who value every little penny they have, they don't want to destroy anything. So, right, when you let go, when you let something be miscalculated, right, you're taking your mind off of that. And it's actually a pleasure sometimes not to think. Thinking is one of the most painful things in the world if you didn't know that. So that's why Shabbos, you shouldn't be thinking so much, and you shouldn't be learning Torah all day. Zohar, that's like learn 1,000 times a schar for learning on Shabbos. Nonsense. You shouldn't be learning on Shabbos. You should be resting on Shabbos, both in your physical activity and both peace of mind. I hope you enjoyed tonight's shir. See you on the next one.